Hey guys, how's it going? Being famous has always been something of a dream of mine because it's the easiest way to that you can know that you've made an impact in the world. Of course, you can be famous for something bad, but that's not really the direction my mind goes in when I think about it. There's just one problem with that. I'm a very antisocial person. I'm sure you know this. I don't really want people on the street recognizing me. I want to be left alone. I think The Incredibles said it best when they said, who wants to go shopping as Elastigirl, right? But there is a compromise in there, and it's actually probably the most likely scenario if I'm ever to achieve any level of fame. So I'm going to tell you the story of John Canty. Now, none of you have ever heard of John Canty, and that's okay. In fact, that's kind of the point. I had never heard of him before last fall. As part of the research group that I belong to, we sometimes review different papers of varying relevance to our projects. Derek is, or was, my partner on the self-driving car project that I've been working on, and as as we were reading these papers, he had us read this paper that's titled Textual Explanations for Self-Driving Vehicles. Sound familiar? If it does, that's because that's basically a one-sentence summary of the exact thing we were trying to do. It turns out there's a group out of Berkeley that published this paper a few months before I even started working on this project. And one of the authors was John Canty. Now, that didn't mean anything to me at the time, but I remember my advisor saying, and this is paraphrasing, but he said, this is both good news and bad news. It's bad news because now we have to change our project because somebody has already done this. But it's good news because it means that we're asking the right kinds of questions, especially if John Canty worked on this. It turns out John Canty is a big name in artificial intelligence and autonomous vehicles. So, nobody outside of these research areas has ever heard of him, but there are certain circles that take notice whenever he publishes a paper. And this is the level of fame that I think I could achieve, and it kind of goes hand in hand with getting a PhD. And so it's entirely possible that 10 years from now I could publish a paper on, I don't know, using AI to model all the blood vessels in the human body. And then somebody else will read this and will be like, oh, it's written by Aron. This must be some important breakthrough. We should take notice of this. And so it's not the kind of fame where I'm like a household name and I'm not recognized on the street, but there would be a small set of computer scientists that would follow my work with interest. I think that's the level of fame that I would be most happy with. Also, just a side note on your response to my question, Josh. It's really interesting to me that you would mention teaching a class in cybersecurity because I started as a TA this semester, and the class that I'm a TA for is a cybersecurity class. So it's very interesting that you would choose that as your course to teach when it's what I also chose as my course to teach. I'm not really teaching, it's more like being a peer tutor, but close enough. Also, classes have started back for me this week, and I have a really busy schedule on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so you can expect me to post my videos on Mondays until the semester ends.